All right, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a long time. I hope that you guys are out there talking to those amazing suppliers, finding out what their best sellers are, and really just trying to wrap up Q4 this year and be super strong. Again, for those newbies out there, if you are watching this over on Promo Corner social media pages, make sure to head over to PromoShow.com and go in there and talk with a bunch of amazing suppliers live via text or on video face-to-face messaging. They are there to talk to you about their best sellers. A little bit of housekeeping here. I just want to kind of remind everybody that we do have our contest still going on. You have just under an hour to get that sheet downloaded out of the Promo Corner booth. So go to the Promo Corner booth, go into the flyers, get that sheet, fill that out. And if you match any of our answers, you're going to get extra entries into the contest at the end of the show. And you send those sheets over to contest@promoshow.com. And you need to have those in by 2:29 p.m. Eastern time. So for all my Central and Pacific people out there, do the subtraction, figure it out. And it should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to seeing what gifts Lori put together today. However, we have reached the education part of our show. We always try to put somebody up on stage to talk to you guys about something that is very trendy, what's going on to help you better your business. And we couldn't think of anybody better than Julia Macdonald-Ward with Reisack Marketing here in Texas and surrounding states. She is a multi-line rep, and she is going to be talking to us about best practices during tough times, and also how those practices can help you out during good times. Now, fair warning, this was recorded yesterday. We were not able to get her live up here today. So the video that you will be seeing playing is a recording from yesterday. But if you do still have some questions, throw them in the chat. We'll put them up on the screen. We'll try and see if we can get some interaction between everybody in the comments and get those answered for you. So without further ado, here's Julia and I speaking on some tips to get through tough times. Thank you so much for joining me here today. You guys heard me do the intro on this. This is pre-recorded. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and we'll try and get to them as best we can as this is playing live during the show. But Julie and I are actually recording this early. And so we're going to be talking today about best practices through some tough times. And before we get into that topic, I'm going to give Julia a chance to actually introduce herself for the very few of you that don't know who she is. So, Julia, what do you do? How did you get into the industry? Give us a little bit of your background.
Whoa, I'm going to quickly age myself if I have to give background, but I guess that's part of what we do. So we'll go. Like most people, I fell completely into the industry, completely backwards. I went to college, I grew up in Austin. I went to college in New York. I went to Cornell for city planning. And I graduated school. I got a job for the city of Fort Worth in the city planning department. And then there I met the vice president of sales at Williamson-Dickey's in the medical chef and hospitality division. So he kind of recruited me into that, kicking and screaming. I was like, no. And so I got into uniforms and got into apparel that way. And then I was there like 5 or 6 years. And one of my big customers worked for a big supplier, another apparel supplier that also did decoration. And then one of my big customers was a big customer for them. So then they tricked me into an interview because I was like, no, I'm happy. And one of the guys had flown to Dallas. And they were like, oh, he's really lonely. Do you mind just like grabbing a drink with him, saying hi? Like he just wants to, And so like I'm halfway through, we're hanging out for 20 minutes. I was like, this really feels like an interview. And he was like, yeah, we're tricking you. This is totally an interview. And so fell right into it. And so I've been in promo since. That was probably 15 years ago, something around there.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And so your territory is what? Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and
Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
So yeah, I was a factory rep for like 5 years, I want to say. And then I worked alongside one of my business partners, and we both shared a line. And so after a few years working together, he was like, "You want to do multi-line?" I was like, "Well, try it." And so now I just carry a boom box where I play Benny Hill music, and then I go with it, because the promo industry is just absolute insanity. And then, but I'm so lucky and just blessed that I get to work with fun people I love all the time. My suppliers I love, I mean, we take it for granted how lucky we are to work with this many creative, fun doers, and we get it done all day long, and we create magic.
I love it. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of that magic. We did reach out to you and you were gracious enough to say yes. And you have some ideas on some best practices for both distributors and suppliers. So why don't you just start going through, and we'll just kind of turn this into a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we all know right now we have come through this. I know these buzzwords have been used so much, and no one wants to hear that. But they are unprecedented times. Like the things that have gone on in the last few years, and I think we all thought that we would get to a point where we're like spinning around Julie Andrews and everything's perfect again. But there's not a supplier out there that doesn't have a labor shortage, some sort of issue. I mean, it's every distributor's hiring, it is booming. And so for as much as we want to complain, there are some amazing things going on too. I think transparency is just key. Honest communication, almost over communication for sure. I mean, it's one of those times where you check. I mean, everyone knows we've added 6 steps to everything. Everything's added a lot of different fun stuff. But I think there is some beautiful things going on, and magic is being created. It's just, how do we get there in this moment? I always joke and say promo love is contagious. But promo love is contagious. And the simple things like we were brought up with the golden rule, right? You treat others how you want to be treated. And I try to personally do that as a supplier. Like, if this is my big order, how am I feeling? If this is my big customer, how am I feeling? How do I want to be treated in this moment? To really put yourself in that other person's position and see what it might not work out the way we hoped. What is a solution that we can come to collectively that can still get it done? It's not always going to be A, B, and C. We might be on, Q. We might be looking down the path to see how we get it done. But I mean, I think now, and you probably know this, it's all about relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that relationship can grow when you do have transparency. And so when you say transparency, it's not just show the distributor everything that you've got, but it's give them all of the information so that they can maybe help you come up with a solution that you didn't think of, right? I mean, is that kind of what you're talking about with the transparency? Like, if there's something wrong, let your customer know.
And there's so many times where, someone sends in what they think is a buttoned up, triple check everything, because if it's missing a PMS color, if it's missing if there's something missing, it throws it back into the curve, and a lot of times to the back of the line at a supplier. So when you have everything just buttoned up and clean, it's easier to sort of look at, okay, what's wrong, what's right. Commitment, are you working with people who call you back? Are you working with people who want your business? It's relationships matter. And if you have, 3 fires you're putting out, and one of them is someone who you've known for years, you're going to work on that fire first. Our relationship is so symbiotic in this relation, the whole industry, I can't do my job without a distributor. Distributor can't do his job without a supplier. We all work together in this beautiful way. But, it's all about commitment, not just to your industry and your customers, but your coworkers, your factories. Like, how do we take it to the next level, of getting it done and, letting people know, is this a hard event date, or did you pad it? Like, we all pad our dates. But, when you get down to it, a lot of I'm so impressed with the ways that a lot of my suppliers have just jumped into the trenches, pulled up their sleeves and getting it done. People are working till 11 o'clock, midnight. You have executives, going through and doing, it's a whole nother level right now. And, being able to offer not just transparency, but grace,
Yeah.
like how we're all in this together. We are all running rampant and trying to get it done in a beautiful way. Like, how can we, still keep that respect and still keep that accountability out there with one another?
Well, the crazy part is too, is that word partnership or relationship gets thrown around so much without the understanding of what it is, right? And I always tell people a relationship isn't two people coming together 50%, 50%. No, you got to give your all to expect your all back, right? Like, to have somebody give them all of their time, right? If you're expecting that, you better be giving all of your time to this too. And then on the flip side, I always tell people when an order goes wrong, they didn't pick your order and decide to make that order go wrong because they don't like you. So don't take it personally. Just try and find a situation around that.
That is a huge point. I mean, for all of the supply, when things go wrong, there are a million things going right. I mean, if you look at just the sheer volume of what some of these suppliers are pulling out. I mean, Snugs produces 100,000 lip balms a day. I mean, the sheer volume of stuff that they're pumping out, it needs to be kind of respected, and things do go wrong, of course. Like, how do we get it right? How do we get back on track? But it's, someone the other day online mentioned that they didn't like this word anymore. And I was like, I love the word elevation, but this whole industry is elevating. We're trying to kind of come together and step back and assess like the strengths and weaknesses and kind of get through to the next day. And sometimes it takes a little bit of growth. We joke about 2-a-days. Right now we're getting those 2-a-days done so we can have those promo abs in the beginning of the year.
Wait, I want promo abs. Like, I don't know what I've got right now.
More figurative promo abs, but just sometimes it's not always for our industry. It's not easy right now. But I mean, even amongst the pain and even amongst the harshness, look at how much we're creating and how many cool things on a daily basis. There's so much going right. So I think it's, important for all of us, like a great practice is to kind of step back and give a little bit of gratitude. If that supplier did 20 of your things and did it well and then messed up one, thank you for those 20s that you did well. Let's talk about the one that isn't going well. Let's get all our facts buttoned up, like everything you can give a supplier, a PO, a SO number, everything you need to sort of jump on tact. And then also, like, who are you working with there? Involve them, get everybody in the crew so we can all kind of put on our thinking fireman caps and go to the next step, get it done. This is not, I mean, we're not doing brain surgery, right? But we do, I mean, there so many things get done here that we're all in awe of, right? You're like, wow, we pulled that off. We did it. So, it's about commitment and really working with the people that you want to work with, that you want to take a lick from,
Well, and that, I mean, I love that point. I love the whole idea of getting to know who you're working with, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? So as much as a distributor is trying to get that end user to like them and know them and call them for every issue, if you're working directly with a supplier, get to know your rep, know your outside rep, know your inside person, know the customer service person that's assigned to your territory, because all suppliers have that set up and they are there to streamline the process to make sure that if there is an issue, you're able to fix it or find it quickly. And then also, what do you think about some of the distributors who are not utilizing some of the tools that suppliers are offering them online? Instead, well, I just want to call to check up on my order. Because there's a lot of technology being added by suppliers, and I wonder if
chat rooms are there and they're helpful. But I mean, I'm a little old school, so I get it. I will go back and forth on an email, and then I will pick up the phone and call someone, because I think a lot of times, sharing's cathartic, right? When things are going wrong or right, we all benefit from genuine, like, hey, I want to hear what's going on. Like, how can I help? And then you might hear something that's a little bit different. People also come across wrong. I mean, I'm sure I'm guilty as much as the next guy of it, where, like, you're writing an email just in kind of a quick, here and there. And someone's like, wow, she's coming across a little, and you're like, no, I'm just busy. I'm not busy. Sometimes, just hearing someone's voice and talking to them. But I can't even tell you how many times someone's like, oh, I've been on hold for for 25 minutes on the customer service department. I was like, well, let me give you your dedicated Inside Rex extension number. And you can call her and leave her a message, and you don't have to, and she will call you back by the end of the day. And so I think a lot of times it's, training each other. We want to, as suppliers, understand how you're doing your business. We want to learn how we can do it better, but we also need to get all the information from you guys, like how we can, do it better the next time. Failure is a part of life. Can we grow from it? Can we stumble? Can we get up and go, oh, how do I do it better next time, coach? Put me in, like, I want to bat better next time. It's not always going to go perfect, but I mean, everything's impacting all the different roles in the industry right now. I mean, and just understand what's going, like, even if it's a USA made company, there's still things that are impacting everybody. And like, how do we kind of work together in a place of gratitude and kindness, and, showing people, like, not just me, but us. There is an us in this. It doesn't work without all moving parts. It really doesn't. So, I mean, I feel very lucky that I get to work with people I am just so on a daily basis with, just impressed by the sheer, just like, God, are we magic? Maybe is Gandalf over there? Who's got the wand? How did we get it done? But it's getting done. And being a multi-line rep, it's a little bit different because you are under the skirt of a few companies, and you really understand it in a different way. We are hand in hand with our customers on how to get things right. So, so many times 2 weeks into it, they let you know there's a problem, and they're like, and you can fix it within 20 minutes. And you're like, really wish we wouldn't have waited 2 weeks for that. So just, communication. And it sounds so basic. It sounds like something we should just all be part of what we do, but communication is key. It's key in this world.
Well, I talk about that a lot in some of the educations that I do recently, even when I go through my education. It's nothing that you haven't heard before. I'm not this motivational speaker. I'm not out there giving the gospel that you've never heard before. No, this is the 31st time you've heard it.
And maybe they need 32 to even, it's one of those. I mean, there's so many different challenges that are facing everybody, but in order to ask for, we're all humans. We're all, like, what unites us in this promo industry is so much deeper than what divides us. And so, how can we get there? How can we, and a lot of times it's just like over communication at this point, transparency, just trust, like working with people that, are not going to just, because I mean, it's a $26 billion industry. There's bound to be someone out there who's going to want to give you the sell and run, but I just choose not to work with those suppliers.
Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is I used to tell people as a supplier, just real quick tangent. I used to tell people all the time, they'd call me up, and I was selling lanyards at the time. So you can buy lanyards from anybody.
I love lanyards.
Oh, I love it. I we get jaded on promotional products and like, lanyards and sunglasses. We still sell a ton of them. So anyway, I was talking to this guy. He's like, all right, I need 10,000 of them. I need them in 2 weeks. And I was like, no worries. And I gave him the price. He's like, that's too high. I can get them from some guy online for 25 cents less. And I said, you know what? My rush charge is $500. And he says, well, why would you tell me that? I said, because when you call me in a week, because they couldn't do it and I can, that's what my rush charge is going to be. And he loved it so much because I was upfront. I was transparent with him. I knew what company he was going with. I knew they could have probably gotten it done for him, but there was a much bigger chance that it wasn't going to work out on his hard in hands date. And I was going to be there to handhold him through the entire order. So everything you just said, I was upfront with him. I gave the good communication, offered a solution, and told him everything that was going on, and was also offering a solution as a partner, as somebody who's going to go through the tough times with you and who is going to grab that box if it doesn't make it in time and drive it to the UPS center because you missed the shipment time, right? Yeah, that's the stuff I'm looking for.
Partnership. There is a partnership, and that is the key point of this is, how is an industry, and give a backup plan, I mean, especially with the crazy stuff going on with inventory right now. You could have 22,000 units of something, and before you know it, the person's like, well, it's 3 weeks later and they need it. Have a plan B, have a plan C, have that down, be proactive on it. Yep. Be insightful on it. As honest as you are, or I am, to the people in the industry, how are we honest to those who don't understand the industry? because they're not understanding the things that we think we understand. Things simple like a PMS color. Well, what do you mean PMS? I mean, I'm in end user calls all the time where the person, like the most simple thing that they're not understanding. And you're just having to go, okay, like how do I take our pitch? Because we're so in the trenches, right? We get this promo life, we drink it all day long. But how do you kind of simplify it? Because people want simplicity, they want ease, they want an understanding of it. Keep it simple to sort of get people what they need. Bullet your points. Don't give a giant thing telling what happened. Just event day was there. If you just bullet that point, everyone is working so stretched thin everywhere. Like, how can we make it easier for the next person?
Yep.
I'm the youngest of three. My mother raised us completely on golden rule and to give love if you want more love. So spread that promo love, and the more love you give, the more love you're going to give back in this promo world.
I love it. Spread that promo love. I want to see that happen more. Julia, who do you rep in that amazing territory? What are the suppliers that you are under?
So we've got a few apparel companies. We've got Storm Creek, which I adore. It's eco apparel. So it's before it was it's if you're not talking about those conversations, that needs to be it is everywhere right now. Sustainability. These aren't just buzzwords. They're words that are happening in our market. So Storm Creek's great because they have such amazing quality. They're based in Minnesota, so they're Minnesota nice. They all answer their phones, they answer their emails, and they're super kind to work with. And it's more like a Lululemon, North Face, Patagonia, but it's at a price.
Awesome.
So it's really, really like quality. We do Snugs, which bought Sweeta. So we have a lot of fun stuff with that. Base Camp is the biggest push for that stuff. They give the Wounded Warrior Project $125,000 last year. I mean, we can all
cool. I love that program so much.
I think all of us are so inspired by it. We can all sell some stuff, but to be able to really make the world a better place through promo, like those kind of give backs are important.
Yep.
Head to Toe does a little bit of custom apparel, and they do like custom headwear stuff. 3M Post-its. Everybody knows Post-its, also USA made. We've all got a Post-it on our desk. And if you don't, give me a call. You need one. There's a bunch of fun ones. And then Dynamic Brands is like a golf centric brand, but they can give us access to Day Trek bags, Bag Boy, Burton, a lot of fun ones with that. So there's all kinds of different fun ones in our market that we can kind of play and create beautiful things with. We can, Power Stick does tech and Best does coolies. And there's so much fun stuff out there that you can sort of get with the right companies and get exactly what you're needing. But yeah, it's transparency, it's communication, it's giving all your information that you need, and relationships. Like most things in our business, we work with people we like. We take podcasts with people we like.
Yes. All right. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad we were able to get together and get this recorded, because I think this is, again, just like we've been saying, this is stuff we've heard since we were kids. The golden rule isn't new. Treat people as you want to be treated, and it's going to happen. Spread that promo love, as Julia says. Julia.
Love.
Yeah, exactly. What suppliers of yours are actually out on the show floor, and who can they go see?
So 3M Post-it is there. The new command hooks have been killing it. They're super cute. They hold up to like 5 pounds and 3 pounds. And then we have all kinds of different, we're in the middle of a cube sale. So that's been going on. Also Dynamic Brands, that was that golf brine. It's a little bit more niche because, but tapestries has been trending, those kind of wall blankets. They're USA made and hand woven, so they're beautiful. So you can do my husband is 43, right? He got one for playing basketball in high school. My kids cuddle with this blanket. That is the power of promo. We're talking like over 20 years of using a blanket. So there's lots of fun stuff out there. What can you give someone that's going to give them the memory? Snugs has all this boxcar stuff. So you have this whole unboxing. There's reasons entire YouTube channels are dedicated to unboxing, because there's so much, they're already in love with it by the time they open it.
That's awesome. Thank you for spreading your promo love with us today.
Such a fun time. Thanks for having me. Enjoy your show, everybody.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. That was so much fun to get to talk with her yesterday. You guys, if you haven't had a chance to reach out to her or don't know who she is or don't know any of the lines she's representing, two of them are down on the show below. Make sure to go and check them out. We are coming up very, 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 very close for the last entries for the contest that we have going on. If you're still in the dark as to what that is, go down to the promo corner booth and get the sheet of the best and fill out who you think fits in those lines. And if your answers on those match any of ours, you get extra chances to win at the end of the show. So make sure that that you get those in to contest@promoshow.com by 2:29 p.m. Eastern. Guys, that is Eastern. So I can't wait to see what Lori is going to do with those. I can't wait to see who won the best of the best. I was part of the decision-making process, but it's been so long and we were in Europe when we did it. I don't really remember. We're going to find out at the same time. So stick around. Coming up at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do the best of the best. It'll be myself and Lori will come on and have some fun then. And then we'll wrap it up at 3:00 with the end of the show. So go out there and see those amazing suppliers, get in there and talk with them about their best sellers, get in there and see what their best sellers are and see if you can make them your best sellers. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.